What I like about Wild Hearts is that it's fairly challenging right from the start, and it's going to smack that juice box right out of your hand if you don't figure out what you're doing. So I'm going to break down how to get started, help you choose a weapon class, improve your survivability, and a few other things. Now let's just get to it, and if you happen to be new here, hit subscribe. At the start of Wild Hearts, you'll have access to 5 of the 8 weapon types, which are kind of like picking a character class. Those initial 5 are the Katana, Nodashi, Bow, Maul, and Bladed Wagasa. The Katana is a decently quick close-range sword, you knew that part, but when you build up its special gauge, it can temporarily transform into a bladed whip with a bit of extra reach. I would put its attack speed at a medium, almost high, range at close to mid, mobility at medium, and overall difficulty at fairly easy. Then there's the Nodachi, which is a pretty slow but very strong greatsword. This can move while charging attacks or stay stationary to rapidly build up to that big final hit. I would put the Nodachi at attack speed slow, range close, mobility low, and overall difficulty a medium. Next is the bow, which is one of the 2 ranged options in this game. This has 2 primary modes. Holding the bow horizontally fires quick shots that lodge into the target. Switch over to the slower firing vertical mode and those will pop all those lodged arrows. I would put the bow at attack speed medium, range mid to far, mobility medium, and difficulty high, mostly because you really need to be careful with your stamina management with this one, or you won't be able to dodge when you really need to. Then we have the Maul, which is an odd, bendy hammer. While attacking with this, the Maul will briefly flash, and if you hit the right trigger with correct timing, it'll actually extend the length of the weapon. I'd put this one at attack speed low, range close to mid, mobility low, and difficulty high, since you need to be constantly nailing those extra inputs with most all of the attacks, if you want to be effective. And then the Bladed Wagasa, which is a parry-focused umbrella that has many airborne attacks as well. This will be building up a gauge which increases the strength of your attacks, but to quickly ramp that up, you'll need to be nailing those well-timed parries. Putting this one at attack speed medium, range close, mobility medium because it has a really wimpy dodge distance, and overall difficulty at medium. Those were the 5 starting weapons, but there are 3 more you'll unlock a bit later. The Claw Blade is definitely the highest attack speed of the bunch, the Staff can transform into alternate types of weapons, and the Cannon is yet another ranged option. Now, if you feel like you're getting hit abnormally hard at the start, it might be because you haven't eaten anything yet. Just hit left on the D-pad to munch on various things you've gathered. Those will give you different buffs that will persist through a hunt, even after death. In the starting area, knotweeds and millet are really easy to find, and those will improve either your health or health and defense. Try throwing a few of those on a tanning rack, which will increase the potency of that stat boost. It does take real time for these to cook, so I recommend having multiple tanning racks going at once. Another thing that you might find useful at the very start, after you've acquired this little sphere guy, save up your cogs to be able to upgrade its assist form. That will provide it the ability to heal you sometimes, which is done with this nice little green AoE regen. Activating Dragon Pits will allow you to create more structures on that given map. Make sure to spread out your limited Hunter's Tents though, because those will be your main fast travel points and will also allow you to respawn on them. Also try to spread out your hunting towers as well, because when you just activate one of those, it'll trigger all the others on the map to recon the area. That's going to be one of the quickest and easiest ways to see where the targets are at. When you're crafting weapons, these different nodes on this branching tree will dictate how the weapon visually and statistically changes. If you want to backtrack to a previous node, you can with a minor cost of gold. You can also just make a fresh new weapon from scratch if you want to go an entirely different way. Depending on the sequence of upgrades you take, will also dictate what traits you'll be able to pass on to future variants. When you start crafting higher tier armor, those will contribute to an alignment meter, either neutral or aligning more with humans or the creatures. This won't be a big deal until further in the game, but alignment can dictate which passive skills will activate on armor and which ones won't. A few of the main quests in, you'll unlock the ability to create a bulwark. That is done by placing 6 regular platforms right next to each other. This is easier than it sounds. Just stand still, hold left bumper, and tap your platform button 6 times quickly, and you'll instantly have a wall. You can use this to protect yourself from oncoming hits, and even stagger enemies during some of their more powerful moves. Sprinting and jumping at large creatures will allow you to cling onto them and wriggle around a bit. If you do this directly on a glowing blue spot, that will give you a special attack prompt, and that will temporarily expand your resource used to create objects. Use that time to build up some extra defenses for yourself. However, sometimes the safest place to be during a big incoming attack is on the creature itself. If you hold down the dodge button when your weapon is sheathed, it does this slide, which is great for avoidance. Your weapon also has a unique attack animation coming out of that slide as well. If you have enough stamina, you can input a dodge when you're in this type of hit animation to quickly pop yourself back up and move further away. This can easily save you from being wombo comboed by multiple attacks. Once you have the flying vine unlocked, you can create point-to-point shortcuts. However, instead of plopping these down and leaving them, I recommend destroying them after each use. You can only have so many of these active on a map at a time, and this will let you regularly use these to quickly navigate all around the map. Once you've unlocked the torch object, this will temporarily imbue your attacks with the fire element, but that can also be used to destroy some of these vines that you'll find. That's how I happened to find my first talisman. This one increases defense, and I found it just down this main road not too far from the starting camp. That's it, and hopefully that gets you started in Wild Hearts. But man, there's tons and tons more to this, and that's just barely scratching the surface. I'm interested what you guys think of Wild Hearts, so if you've gotten your hands on it, let me know down below. As always, I'm Alex, and thanks for watching.